Mike, but we got to talk about the Cowboys because there's highs and there's lows. Okay, so the Panthers beat the Cowboys 30-27. One of the former players, Rico, actually said that you guys weren't buckled up. So, Mike, what happened there? And we kind of discussed this before, but I think no better time to talk about this now, and we'll get into that game later. But do you think the Cowboys are the worst team in their division right now?
I thought you was going to say ever, but go ahead.
No, ever's a stretch. Right now in their division, let Mike speak.
Right. And here too, because the Giants played a pretty good game last week on Thursday and beat the Eagles. This thing fluctuate. Now, and I like what I'm seeing in the Giants, but I like what I see sometimes with the Dallas Cowboys offensively. There is absolutely nothing to like defensively. I mean, nothing whatsoever. It's horrific. And if Dallas doesn't score 35, 40 points a game, then they have no chance at winning football games. That's the reality. And what they did today, they started saying, okay, let's back up and play more coverage. That's when you really need a CeeDee Lamb to do the damage on the inside of the zones. I thought George Pickens played a great game. The mistake I believe they made in that game was late in that game, they still kept trying to run the ball, or when they had the chance to go get the field goal and go up by 3, they lost 5 and then lost 7 yards, trying to dump it off to the back. I mean, Dak was playing MVP football. Right there, you watch the Rams, you watch, you just mentioned Patrick Mahomes, you watch Baker Mayfield. You got to put that ball in the MVP's hand and let's throw the ball down the field. They got real conservative and it caught them and they lost the game. But they got no shot if they don't put up 35, 40 points. That's just with that defense. It's literally arena football.
Mike, don't try to wiggle your way out of this. Pause. When it comes to the Cowboys, they might be the worst team in the last decade. I'm just gonna go on the record.
No, defensively.
Yes.
Defense.
Like Mike, this is atrocious. When you think about what this team has, they have Dak Prescott, they have your boy CeeDee Lamb. They even talking about Rico now. He's putting up major points. And then you got Dak putting up major points. And I don't know what's worse, when you're losing and not playing well, or you're losing and you're actually playing good. So I don't know how you fix that. How do you fix it if you're losing and you're actually playing good? Do you start playing even worse so you can win better? This is just not making sense, Mike. I'm ready to blow up this whole Dallas team. And realistically, I think we should be the first sports show that banned the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna talk to Kill about it. We should just ban the Cowboys off the show. Let you come, but the Cowboys gotta go.
Okay, I don't mind you blowing up that defense. If you're going to blow up that defense, I like the stem for you. I like that match for you. I like to get it blown up. But I want they need a CD back to help them with any chance to help offset how poor that defense is.
And Mike, they're losing to a team that was just selling tickets for 50 cents last year. They were $1 tickets.
Yeah, and that's the fool's goal right there. Let me tell you, the fool's goal. I'm talking about when you talk about Dallas, like, and Cam, we kind of talked about this even after week 1. Like, they go up against the teams that we expect to be there, and they play hard and good. It was, oh my God, and then they go up against the teams that they're supposed to beat, and they lose. You know, I rather you beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And then get beat by the teams that's supposed to beat you the right way, so you can have a fair assessment of what you have. This way, it's bad. How is it that defense can let even the poorest teams in the NFL have their best days? That's incredible. They have a 4th and 2, 4th and 4 for the game. Dude, 8 yards off them. That's the kind of defense you're playing. He's 8 yards off, and it's a 4th and 4. You got to press that guy. Stuff like that. It's just I don't know. It's the worst defense I've ever seen.
Yeah, Mike, this is called bipolarism when you just jump from person to person. This is what you're giving us. This is what the Cowboys are giving us. They don't know which team they want to be. When they play the weak teams, they play down to that. Now, when they play the good teams, they play almost good enough to win. Mike, we're gonna have to ban the Cowboys.
And what's your assessment of that, Mace? What is your assessment of that? If you could play the weak teams and play down to that, and then play the better team and try to play better and play near what they are, what's your assessment? Does that mean you are strong-minded or weak-minded?
That's mind control. That's mind control. That's called weak-minded. I mean, you're not sure of who you are identity-wise. So whoever comes around, you're like a chameleon. You act like them. If it's bad football players on the floor, on the field, you play like that. If they play well, then you rise to that. You really don't know who you are. I don't know who to credit that to. Do you credit that to the defensive coach? Do you credit that to the organization? What's going on?
I believe, I put some of that on the defensive coordinator, and I put a lot of that on want to and desire. Defense is a lot about want to and desire. If we are going to just go, if you're going to play hard as you can, we got to scheme together. Everybody gonna sit in the gap so nobody break big runs. They're giving up everything. I've never seen anyone run this wide open. Any kind of movement by an offense, then it's almost like people get lost in the secondary. They're supposed to have checks to every and any movement that you can go to and get everything covered. But that's not happening. And yes, that's on the coach. Yes, that's on the players also. Yes, that's on the organization. It's on everybody.
Cam?
Yeah, I just think, like, when somebody talks up when they play their former team, when we talk about Rico Dow being with the Cowboys 5 years, and then last week, he knew he was going to play against the Cowboys this week, and he tells them to buckle up. That's like bulletin board material for the Cowboys, and they be like, if anybody's going to beat us, it ain't going to be this nigga. And this nigga had 239 yards from scrimmage, the most against most for any player that went up against their former team. And then after the game, he actually asked them, you told them to buckle up for next week. And he said, what happened? He said, I guess they didn't buckle up. You're not supposed to let that happen. Like, I'm not saying Rico Dow's one of them players where you say, oh man, we playing against this nigga. But you don't sit there and let niggas talk shit about you, knowing they're gonna play against you. Like I said, basketball is nowhere near football as far as toughness. But when I played basketball in the 90s, if somebody did that shit and talk shit, you can't do it today, but they was gonna get hurt. You couldn't go to the basket. You wasn't coming down that lane. We wasn't gonna allow you to talk and leave the court walking on 2 feet. That just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, dog.
What you said, Mike?
Come on, can't. These jersey swap people. These jersey swap people. That's what you want from these people. You know what I mean? These jersey swap jerseys. It's like, boy, y'all like Jeffrey Dahmer, boy. Y'all crazy, boy. Y'all giving brothers trophies after they whoop y'all ass. Y'all crazy.
He's not lying, Mike. Our coach used to tell us either we're gonna win the game or the fight. He wouldn't let us leave the court unless we won the fight or the game.
Right. That's how I came up. You went in them neighborhoods, you played those high school, if you won the game, you're going to have to fight to get out. That's what we did, Yeah. That's just what that was. Yeah. That ain't the case anymore. That ain't the case anymore.
Yeah, but what I was hoping was, Mike, you actually won this week because, the show isn't over yet, but I'm going to give you the credit. Because we had two and over for CeeDee Lamb. You only have a 1 CeeDee Lamb today on the show. I was waiting for second CeeDee Lamb to come out. you on the under. I lost. I lost today on the under for CeeDee Lamb today. But look, Dak played good. Pickens played out tremendous 168 yards. But it really isn't much to say about it, but clock management, and salute to the coaching staff of not just the coaching staff of the Panthers. They went for it on a 4th and 2 to burn more clock and to get closer for the field goal. And that's just exactly what they did. They hit a walk-off field goal with no time left on the clock. I'm surprised you didn't say that, because that was another thing I was expecting from you. Well, if they missed the field goal, and if it would have went into overtime, and if it went down to third in the overtime,
If Deron Bland would have come up and pressed the receiver, just press the receiver and make the quarterback hold it. He has to get rid of the ball. That's the mistake they made there. That's the details. But Cam, to this point that you're talking about right now, and I was talking about there's no dominant team, that's going to be the difference for the teams that go far right there this year. It's going to be coaching. And the great coaches got to make the right decisions at the right time, because it's no dominance, and everybody will have a chance. And, if you got a good offense, you'll have a chance. But it's going to come down to coaching. And I thought tonight you should have put it in the MVP's hand and threw the ball more up the field.
He's not the MVP, Mike. Can you stop saying that? That's
Mike.
That is out the window.
Mike, please stop saying. Mike,
he went into the week. Wait. He went into the week as an MVP. Yeah. He went in as an MVP. That's what he did.
And and then the last thing, I have a question for Mace. Mace, the quarterback for Bryce Young, he had 199 yards. Dak had over 225. How does this explain your theory? The first quarterback to 225 wins the game.
Let me look at this for you, Killer, because I knew you was going to bring that. There was an over and under on that as well.
I'm just going by your theory that whoever quarterbacks get to 225.
Yes, normally, but when championship pedigree kicks in, it overrides the 225, and now that's what we're looking at, 30 points, Cam. You would notice if you was watching the game. We're entering to the championship end zone, and that's when everything changes.
Who has championship pedigree on the Panthers? Tickets was $1 last year.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is things have changed. They're scoring championship points. Michael Irvin is here. That's why we paid him, right? And Michael Irvin is here to tell you, Cam, that 30 points is championship points. Michael Irvin, do I stand corrected? Rebuke me. You went to church.
Right there. That's about. I will amen to that, Pastor. Yes, I will amen to that. That's about the number. That is about the number that you're going to need. You got to reach it.
I don't mind, because I see Stat's face, and we both know what's really going on. I see Stat. It was never, Mike. It was never if you don't score if the quarterback doesn't get 225, as long as you get 30. It was only 225. So I guess it's anomaly.
There we go. Precisely. Because Mike, you lost me talking about Dak as the MVP candidate. Like, we didn't just see an exceptional performance from Baker Mayfield. Dak is out the window. And Mace, you lost me talking about championship pedigree with the Panthers when you just called them out for their ticket prices. So
Stat, let me tell you,
things are changing.
Let me tell you one thing.
Stat. We're in a world where things are changing. You guys got to get with the change. We're not back in the 90s.
You know what's crazy, Stat? Is both of them went to church yesterday morning. It's crazy. Sitting up here with this. That's the crazy part.
I thought it was because I was holding my hands like this. I was getting how Killer be spinning it when he put his hands like this. So maybe I need to stop putting my hands like that.
Okay, it's a perfect time to go to break so everybody can just think about what they just said. When we return, we will discuss the Giants Thursday Night Football game. Don't go anywhere.